worldly authorities may be mistaken. So how do you get an authority that's not mistaken? Do you like Bhagavad Gita? A little bit? A little bit. You like Bhagavad Gita? You're smiling, so I caught you. A little bit. A little bit. How many chapters are there in Bhagavad Gita? Okay, very good. You've got one quiz question down. Now, another quiz question is, in chapter 10 of Bhagavad Gita, what's the title of chapter 10 of Bhagavad Gita? He wants you to do something. You bring the garland. He's on the hot seat right now. No, I know what you want, but I want to keep him on the hot seat. I'm chuckling, but on the hot seat. It's a methodology. Don't worry. I'm not picking on you. In chapter 10 of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna begins the chapter by saying, nobody knows me. So if you want to know that which existed before you existed, it's not knowable by your senses or by inference. You can say perhaps maybe, but you can never know perhaps maybe. So what existed before you existed? Krishna says, I existed before everything existed, but me nobody knows. Why? Because I exist before they exist. How can they know what existed before they existed? You can infer you have a father. You can infer he's got a father, and he had a father, and somewhere along the line there's original father. By inference, there's original father. But who's that original father? You never know. Unless that which is the original father reveals, and then you can know. That's what Scripture is. Revealed knowledge. From a source that's infallible. That's pretty cool. Aparushaya Shabda. Shabda means sound, or teachings that come through sound, Shabda, sound. Aparushaya is, Purushas are fallible. You and I and every human and other species, demigods included, they're fallible. But there's an infallible, and that source of sound that's infallible, that's perfect knowledge. That's called the Vedas. What's the Vedas? The Vedas is sound, the breathing of Narayan, according to the Vedas. Now, you don't know because you weren't there when he was breathing or when the Vedas were being manifest by him. But through the authority of the Vedas, it's accepted. So on what's the authority? The Vedas. It sounds like circular reasoning, but the practical application of the Vedas is check it out. You do the experiment, and does it work? It's like physics or chemistry. I knew more chemistry than physics, but the same principle applies. You add this plus that, you get your compound. And do it again, and do it again, and do it again. So this plus that equals a compound. Hydrogen plus oxygen equals water. You can put it and go into a lab and take hydrogen gas and oxygen gas and mix them, and voila. It's verifiable through practical experience. Similarly, the Vedic wisdom is verifiable. It's not just wishful thinking. It's verifiable. Now, is it possible? The answer to this question is yes. Is it possible to know that which is beyond your senses and beyond your reasoning capacity? Yes. What's the means of knowing? The Vedas. Aparushaya Shabda. And then comes this word pramana. Pramana means the means of knowing something. Remember the fancy English word, epistemology? You be ready for your English class now. Means of knowing something. I hope you don't mind I'm putting your son on the hot seat. It's okay? It's okay. It's okay. Your permission. Dad said it's okay. So this is called, the Srimad Bhagavatam is called Pramana Amalam. Mala means contamination, and Amala means without contamination. It's pure. The pure, spotless means of knowing anything, because the source of everything is everything. It's that matter and spirit, and all things, at least the principles behind matter, material phenomena, and spiritual phenomena, in principle, are there within the Vedas. There are portions of the Vedas that deal with all kinds of fields, medicine, physics, you name it, cosmology, the structure of the universe, everything. Sociology, politics, everything. But there's a foundation to it. The foundation is there's a source of everything, and how does everything connect with that source? That's what the Vedas give us an indication of. And so this Srimad Bhagavatam is described as being Pramana Amalam, the spotless means of knowing, especially knowing that which is the source of everything, or knowing the supreme absolute truth. We were discussing this morning in our Bhagavatam class about the absolute truth. A little bit. Reality beyond, distinct from illusion. Reality separated from illusion. There's illusion, and that's identified, and there's reality, and that's identified, and they're two separate things. The shadow comes from the object that casts the shadow. Shadows don't exist without an object that's casting the shadow. Of course, there's a sunlight that's allowing the object to cast a shadow. But shadows are just shadows. There's no substance. And then there's reality, of which the reflection, the non-substance, is an emanation of. So if you understand that which is casting the shadow, you can much better understand the shadow than without understanding that which is casting the shadow. Reality, distinguished from illusion. That's Srimad Bhagavatam. That's the verse we read this morning, or part of the verse we read this morning. For the welfare of all, that's another particular point. Because for the welfare of all means people suffer. Here's a philosophy question. How about some of our bright, young, educated Vaishnavas there in the back row? Two-part question. Any one of you three in the back row. From the Vedic, from the Buddhist, Buddha rejected the Vedas. This, epistemology or the Vedic pramana he tossed out. And then he said something else. He didn't say everything wrong, but he said something else. The something else that he said was, the root cause of suffering is desire. Yes? Yes. The root cause of suffering is desire. So, we don't like to suffer. We like freedom from suffering, at least, negation of suffering. And the way to come free from suffering is to become free from desire. And then there's a strategy, a methodology, a sadhana, an approach for becoming free from desire. And that is two things. Two things. We do the same two things. We just label it differently. One, be in the mode of goodness. Starting with nonviolence. I mean, it's one of the starting points for Buddhism. Ahimsa. Don't harm others. Cleanliness, charity, truthfulness, etc. Mode of goodness. Frame your life in the mode of goodness, because that's hard to come by these days, and you frame your life in the mode of goodness. And what goes inside that space? Mindfulness. Because you like music, not just you three, but all our young people like music. I just listened yesterday, I listened to a recording of Genevieve Harrison singing Be Here Now. You know what that is, Be Here Now? You heard that phrase? It's a phrase for impersonalists. It's a phrase for Buddhists. It's a name of a book, for your information. It's the name of a book of a former Harvard professor named Richard Alpert that became an impersonalist, Babaram Das, and he wrote a book, Be Here Now. So she sang the song in English, Be Here Now, not following Babaram Das, but it's something that we do too. But his approach of Be Here Now, or the mindfulness, be in the moment, be in the moment, be in the moment. Because you know, by Sheshe Prabhu, I'm looking at our young, trying to keep the young people engaged. I'm trying. You know, by Sheshe Prabhu. You all know by Sheshe. Not yet, but you'll get to know him. It's a nice devotee. He shared something when he was visiting New York. He went to join the Harinam party, but he also wanted to increase and strengthen their book distribution effort, because that's Vaisheshika Prabhu's gift. He liked kirtan too, but he liked book distribution with kirtan. So he was with the kirtan party distributing books on somewhere in New York City, and one young fellow walked up to him, bounced up, saw him in a dhoti, said, "Are you enjoying being in the moment?" That was the introduction. Because it's an impersonal notion. Buddhism and impersonalism. Be in the moment, be here now. And then, because it's an essential part of the teachings of Buddha, because he gave, besides general teachings, there are some writings. And of the writings, I learned this from Jiva Goswami. Jiva Goswami explains that one of his core doctrines is Kshanik Vijnanavad. We haven't even gotten to the Bhadra Purnima yet, but I'm just keeping the young people engaged. So, Kshanik Vijnanavad. Vad means doctrine. Ism, something-ism. Buddhism, that's a doctrine. Vaishnavism, that's a doctrine. Communism, that's a doctrine. Capitalism, an ism, so the teaching, a doctrine. And Vijnana, he used, not the same way we use it, but it was consciousness. And kshanak means less than a moment, like the blink of an eye. Kshanak. Vijnanavad. Consciousness is momentary. So be in the moment means be conscious. Because that's all there is. That is, the past is gone, the future hasn't happened, all there is the moment. So be in the moment, because that's who you are. You're momentary. Your existence, you are a momentary flash of consciousness.